And to me, it's nauseating. It's absolutely nauseating because
multiple mental health clinicians said that Derek had limited intellectual ability and was not capable of consenting.
Congratulations.
Boom. Right? Change soccer in America forever.
Hella bugs out here. Bro, I can't keep caressing my leg, boy. Trying to get freaky out here.
We are step siblings and also husband and wife.
I can't do any of that stuff.
That's right. Yeah, in fact, soccer can crawl up my asshole and die for all I care. And that's what the kids do, but I'm a little older. I like that shirt tucked in.
Who the hell told you that would not be seen on television?
Anal sex is the process of inserting a penis into the anus of another partner.
Oh, shit. All right, welcome to Straight Red Card. No fluff tonight because it is a recorded show. It is almost 9 o'clock, which is really too late for us to start a show because it means we won't be going to bed till midnight. We both have jobs, so there you go. It just didn't seem like a smart thing to do, and not much fluff tonight, except I am going to again announce that I'm drinking the second of the two 6 glass by Boulevard, a phenomenal quad. Do recommend it. It is it's quadruple, as I said. It is 10.2% by alcohol, and it's damn good. It's really tasty for an American-made beer. Boulevard is in. God, my eyes are getting so bad, Brett. I mean, I can't read things far away.
You are 85, so I understand.
I can't. Shut up. I can't read them close up. I can't read them far away. Yeah, it doesn't really tell me. Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, Boulevard. Excellent quadruple Belgian style quadruple ale from local company and affordable compared to the ones that you're going to find from Belgium in your local fancy liquor store, right?
Speaking of stuff from fancy liquor stores, I am currently drinking the cheapest of cheap vodkas with Crystal Light. Classic.
Crystal Light, yeah.
Gotta hydrate, Derek. Gotta keep hydrated.
Yeah, exactly. We are going to, of course, cover the big Sargent thing for sure, but there's a few other things we need to get to first. We really do. And one of the things I'm going to bring up right now, because it's not in our list of things to cover, but I don't know if you noticed, but Dortmund loaned Mukoko to Nice.
Right?
Mukoko to Nice.
It's not like you're doing like a rap song there or something like that.
One less offensive player for Brenda to have to battle against, I guess, even though Mukoko is a center forward or a central striker. But
we'll get into some Geo talk here in just a little bit.
We will.
But, I mean, as a whole, I've had this conversation with a number of people. Whether Dortmund wants to just regain market value for Gio, or they really do see a future with him at Dortmund, he's going to get his opportunities. He's got to perform.
Regardless of the stupid morons on CBS who said he had an attitude problem.
Let's not spoil this too early, Derek.
Right. And I do want to bring up Zach Booth as well, because he was loaned out again from Leicester.
It was a transfer. You get transferred.
Was it a transfer or a loan?
Yeah. No, it's not a loan.
Okay, so it was an actual permo, and it was to a second division.
No, it was a Excelsior.
I know, they're in the second.
Are they in the second?
Yeah. That's why I was surprised. Yep. I was really surprised by that.
They got relegated?
Yep. I was surprised because I really thought he had done enough last season to at least earn himself as a player who would be fighting in the lower divisions of the first division in Holland. The Eredivisie.
I'll be
Eredivisie.
Darned. There we go. I'll be darned.
Instead of being stuck in the Eredivisie, he's stuck in the Eerste division, which is not good.
That's beyond me. I mean, I thought they were. I didn't realize he got relegated because when he got transferred, I'm like, oh, that's good.
Yeah,
but apparently not.
No, it's not that great. I was really surprised by it.
I was really surprised that he had a pretty decent season with a really crap team last season. So I figured somebody's going to pick him up.
Yeah, with Volendam. But, Volendam went down.
Thank you, Derek. You just saying that name probably just got us demonetized. Thank you.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think damn is a bad word.
Well, speaking of demonetization,
yep,
it's kind of pans out nicely, actually.
The former Inter Miami captain sounds off after a 2-0 loss. It's MLS. It's a strange league. Strange things in this league which if I speak on, I'll probably get fined. So I'll leave it at that. I mean, everything from his transfer out of Miami.
Yeah.
All the funny money exchanges.
How weird of a concept that is, that a team has to offload you. Like, we want to keep you on the team, but we also want to get this really high paid player in here. So we got to ship you off to Cincinnati.
Yeah. I don't get it either.
Going from Miami to Cincinnati has got to be an eye opener there. Not against the team itself, but against the city, sure.
Maybe someday he'll talk about it, but I doubt it, because once he retires, he'll want a job. And if you talk shit about MLS, you're probably not getting one in the soccer industry. So I don't know.
You know what? You get a coaching license, and there is some good money to be made at college.
In college, sure, if that's his aspirations. I don't know what if his aspirations are to call for MLS, I think that'll be out the window. If this might already put him out the window, honestly.
Yeah, I would say the Dom wouldn't care if he badmouthed U.S. soccer, but this isn't U.S. soccer. This is MLS we're talking about here.
Right. So, can't do that. You're already. I'm sure he's not on the shit list, but he's on the. This guy could end up on our shit list.
Yeah.
Yep. So there you go.
He's on the list to be on the list.
Yep. We don't know what he's talking about. I mean, we do and we don't. We can only there's only conjecture here, right?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
And there's some things we don't have to read into or read between the lines. Some of those things are
transfer news. Who's getting mounted on transfer news? Who's getting over on transfer news? Transfer news. Everyone loves that transfer news, but me. Whatever.
That just constantly grows on me. More and more. The original one was nice, but I think the more I hear him dancing to it a little more.
Yeah, it's got all those vocals, high vocals, low vocals.
Whatever.
It's jazzy,
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I know people complained about it at first.
Zoom in a little more here.
Because you get used to the old thing, right? It's hard to transition out of it. It's official. Bento Estrella has left New York Red Bulls to sign for Sporting CP in Portugal. Let's be really honest. Who is he really signing for? Yeah, okay, it's Sporting CP. He's not playing for Sporting anytime soon. He will go straight to the youth squad, the 2 team at best. And yeah, he's an 18-year-old defensive midfielder born and raised in New Jersey. So
initially, yes, I would think going to maybe the 2 team or maybe even the youth team. He's 18 years old. Initially, yes, but I mean, one would hope after about a year there that he's adjusted to the culture and he is able to contribute to the first team at that point.
Americans going to Portugal so far, not working out for anybody.
Mendez did pretty good there for a season or half.
I guess
it was like a season, maybe season and a half. But
yeah, I mean,
don't worry about him there anymore, man. He's off to El Mexico.
I mean, he played, but now he's in Mexico. What, Juarez or something like that? And yeah. I mean, listen, good for him. I hope it works out. Is all I'm gonna say.
Hey, the other American in Portugal.
There used to be a bunch.
Soto.
No, he's in Austria.
Well, he was in Portugal.
Mm-mm.
He played for Porto's B team, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. If you want to call that Porto's B team, yeah,
something.
Not very often.
I'm not sure why I just clicked over to the comments section, as if I'm expecting there to be comments available for me to look at. Force of habit, guys. Force of habit
on a recorded show. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm sure everybody's going to think, what's going on here?
Oh, I can't even add a comment myself. I was going to add it and then show it, but that's a waste of a joke.
Yeah, you can't do it, I guess. All right, well, what the hell?
Right.
Next. We're trying to get through these in a decent time, folks. It's late already. Breaking: Celtic are close to agreeing to a deal with Sheffield United for Austin Trusty, which is being discussed up to $6 million. Some details still need to be ironed out by both clubs. Yeah,
Better hurry up with that deal.
Just flip-flop CCV with Trusty. Just do that. How about that? And call it even.
Could you see it? Oh, you mean flip-flop as in send CCV to Sheffield?
Yeah, send him to the championship and send Trusty to Celtic. Okay. Call it an even day, if you will.
I think Celtics is going to run 2 American boys in the center.
Yeah, I think they will. Honestly, they probably will.
Dropping $6 million on a center back. Yeah, I think they have ambitions to play him.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I don't think this makes a case for. I don't think it helps him. I don't think going to Celtic helps him at all for like in Poach's eyes going down the road. Because listen, you're Celtic, you play Rangers, and then if you're lucky, you play Champions League.
Hey.
Yeah. But other than that, and maybe you don't.
Was it like 4 games or something like that?
Before you're kicked out and don't make the knockout stage. Yeah. So I just, whatever. Okay. Celtic, fine. If you're a Celtic fan, sorry, it's no offense, but
I mean, it's just the difference at this point, man. This isn't the Celtic that we were used to growing up. And
I mean,
I'm going to play this, throw him a bone here. It could be the Celtic that we were exposed to growing up, but the rest of the leagues in Champions League and just in England or the UK as a whole have grown past. So
yeah.
It's a little bit different nowadays.
There was always another team back in the day who would stick their head out and say, "Hey, we're competitive too," whether it be Motherwell or Hearts. I mean, but nowadays it's just Celtic every fucking season over and over again. And
once Rangers get their act together, back and forth. But
right
now it's basically been Celtic for the last couple.
And I think Rangers have some good runs with Steven Gerrard, but yeah, I don't know what the answer is there. But it's not a very good league after the first 2 teams. It's pretty poor. I mean, when you got guys like Harks, as a regular starter there for Dunkirk, Dundee United in the top league. I almost said Dunkirk, yeah. Then that's, and then we even had some Americans that did go over there and didn't do that great. They started off like fire, like the current Columbus center forward. Can't remember his name. Former U.S. men's national team player as well. And then just petered out. So anyhow, good luck to Trusty. Who? Ramirez. Yeah, Christian Ramirez.
Okay, that's the only striker I can think of at that point.
He started off hot, and then it just somehow the steam all came out. So, all right.
Yeah, I just think there's nothing there to be had in Scotland, unfortunately. I mean, you have 2 historic teams, and you're really just leaning into the history of them at that point.
It's a step down. Yeah,
I wouldn't take it. No, stay in the EFL. Stay in the EFL.
Yep. John Brooks has successfully passed his medical with Hertha, his old team, his youth team, going back to Berlin. This sounds like the most reasonable thing, except for Hertha is no longer in the Bundesliga. They've been down in 2 Bundesliga. Now this will be 2 seasons in a row.
They finished 9th last season, and the reason they finished 9th, just judging from the numbers alone, is they leaked in a shit ton of goals.
Yep.
So maybe this is their way of looking at, hey, they have no problem scoring goals. I think they had like 59 goals last season.
Right.
But they also allowed it like 59 goals or some along those lines. But I mean, just maybe they're looking at it and say, hey, we can get him on the free. We'll pay him a bit of money, and hopefully he'll help shore up that defense.
With only one of our center backs playing really regularly in a super top flight league, Chris Richards, I don't know if this necessarily crosses Brooks out for getting a call up from Poach. I don't think so. Especially if Hertha at the top of the table in Bundesliga 2.
Well, and you have, obviously we're talking about Richards being the one that's contributing at a top 5 league, but you also have McKenzie now at over in League.
Yep.
And if he can get, I know that he immediately jumped off the plane and was on the bench that first match of his. So maybe that's a good sign that they're looking at utilizing him on the pitch. But aside from that, though, we're literally looking at CCV still in Celtic, and we're looking at Trusty now possibly being at Celtic, although they've got to iron out those details ASAP.
Where did McKenzie go again? Toulouse, I believe it was.
Toulouse,
yeah.
Was it Toulouse?
Yep. Now, the problem with that is if things are going south, the first person who's going to get blamed, and we saw this before with another player who got loaned to France from Chelsea, certain center back, the guy who kicked Greg's dog.
Probably kicker.
Like, you're going to get blamed first. So just be prepared for that. They're very fickle in France with Americans.
I'll say there's a difference between being part of a loan army and getting picked on, and then somebody who literally just made a transfer over and is part of your team now. It's not to say that he wouldn't be the first scapegoat. I'm just saying there's a bit of a difference between those two scenarios.
Oh, there is between him and Mapinyaziga. I would agree with that. Of course, every Chelsea loan was like, hey, loan and a chance to buy if you want. So, but it just never happened. So there you go.
Not all the time. It was like a 33% chance with Miazga there.
Right.
Like he played well in some, the EFL. Then he went to League One, didn't do great. Came back, did well in EFL. Then he went over to Spain, didn't do great. So
yep. So we'll see if Brooks can get hurt up at the top of the table. Why not? Right.
Sure.
Why not consider him?
It's so thin back there at this point anyways. Otherwise, we're relying on some of our old guard from MLS that we've been exposed to over the past handful of years.
It's like a balding man. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Back there. Tom, don't bogart that joint, my friend.
Monetized.
Tom Selleck Bogart. Sources, Nottingham Forest nearing a deal to sign U.S. youth national team forward Christian Fletcher on loan from DC United. 1 year loan. Deal includes purchase option. Fletcher, 19, excelled on loan with Swansea U21s last year. Washington Post first report. Isn't Fletcher also eligible for Canada? I believe he is. We should probably confirm that.
Yeah, keep talking. I'll look.
And I also believe he is eligible for Jamaica. And I think those are probably much more likely landing zones for Christian Fletcher down the road. I think he's really going there to play for the
transfer market has its citizenship as United States.
Okay, so cancel that out.
And England.
Okay, good. That's why he's able to, well, no, he's 19. He can go over there anyhow. But no, he couldn't because they still have some requirements, I believe.
But he's a citizen. He's got English citizenship, so he can go over there without admission.
No problem. No
work
issues.
permits at all. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with Christian Fletcher. I don't think he's going to be anything but a U21 starter for a while. We shall see if he, makes firecrackers shoot out of his butthole or
outside of reading just this and seeing he's a forward. I don't know a goddamn thing about this guy.
I don't either. I've seen him play once. That's it.
So we'll see what happens. It'd be cool if he cracks it and offers another option.
Yep.
Yep. I feel like at this point we're sitting there going like, is there a single role with U.S. men's national team that is shored up? Like, oh, this guy stands no chance at all of cracking this because of the depth here. Maybe the midfield.
Midfield's probably the most
crammed.
Not according to a certain person, but yes.
Because once you get past our initial wingers, we're sitting there going like, oh geez, who's backing them up? Oh well, let's look at some strikers as options.
Yeah, let's look at exactly. Haji Wright, Paredes, and the guy in Mexico who stunk it up in the freaking Gold Cup. Probably not him. Yeah, probably not him. And then so good luck to him. Listen, I'm glad all these guys are going out over there and trying. That's all I'm going to say to this.
Yep, take that challenge. Go for it.
Yep.
You don't need to play the safe game. The safe game does not work out for 99% of the people. And mind you, I guess going abroad doesn't necessarily pan out for 99% of the players.
That's
as well.
right. Yep.
We are talking about a very minuscule portion of our player pool that actually cracked the senior team. So
yeah.
Yes.
Now, I mean, because that one guy, I can't remember who it was. Again, I always forget his name because I'm horrible. He did a list of all the Americans currently in Europe, and it was like 500 and whatever at this point.
Yeah, we pulled him up on the show one time. Yeah,
a lot of people over there, folks. So it's good.
Well, as we've discussed, there over the course of years, we've discussed that over the past 10 to 15 years that we've covered this sport as a podcast almost. It's almost been about 15 years to an extent. There have always been a large number of American players in Europe. The thing is that, again, 99% of them just don't pan out much more than the average MLS USL.
I would put the percentage of things working out at about 4 to 5%, somewhere between there. Working out is in someday you might get called up to the U.S. men's national team. So out of 500 players, that is obviously about 50 guys.
Yeah.
If you're lucky. And I think it's probably closer to 40 guys, honestly.
At most.
So,
yeah.
So 4%. Tanner Tessman signs for Lyon. This is, thank God it's over, because he's obviously, they hate him in Venezia now, even though they got him promoted. Good for him. It's official deal. I
don't necessarily think that they say, quote unquote, hate Tessman. I think they sat there and said, look, well, geez, if you want to leave so badly, we'll find your replacement. What, you want to come back?
Dude, they basically told the guy, don't even think about coming back. You're done here.
You're a youth team. You're second team right now.
If that's not hate, that's fine, but that certainly is a middle finger.
True. Yes, I'll agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I'll agree. It's definitely middle finger. It could have been possible if he would have stuck it out that he, eventually, if Venezia starts doing poorly, that maybe he works his way back onto the team, could regain some stability there. But it's good that he got this. This is probably the best case scenario for him.
It could be.
And thank goodness the Asian didn't blunder this one up.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. And I'm sure maybe he looked in the mirror a little, but I doubt it because agents don't do that. But I will say it's a good move if he can handle it. And we're going to see if he can handle a bigger that's one of the bigger teams in France traditionally, Lyon.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of up there with the Marseilles, right? Not up there with PSG, but
where did they end up last season? I'm going to quickly take a look at that real quick.
Yeah.
23, 24.
9th? I'm guessing. 9th? 8th? Somewhere around there?
Let's table for that. Oh. I don't know why Chrome does this thing where, it freezes up.
Well, Chrome's can be a disaster. Yeah.
Chrome can be a disaster.
I'll probably get there before you do.
There we go. Nope, this is not what I want either.
That's this year's. You want last year's.
No way. Lyon finished in 6th.
Okay, a little higher than I thought. A little higher.
They're qualifications for Europa League.
Yep. That is a big difference between 8th and 6th. So there you go. All right. Well, congratulations to him. Hope he plays. That's all I'm saying. Hope he plays.
Speaking of players with questionable agent plays, let's talk about Weston a little bit here.
Oh, the infamous John McKennie. I'm very proud of Weston's decision to stay at Juventus. Okay. Can I just break some news to John here? The reason he had to stay at Juventus is Juventus called his bluff, and his agent was asking for too much, and the team was asking for too much. McKennie's agent was asking too much in fees and in salary. No one was touching that. And then the team was asking for too much too. Like everybody overvalued Weston McKennie, including Weston McKennie and John McKennie here. That's why he's staying at Juventus. Honestly.
Yeah. That's the big thing right there, is that it's a limited, and I hope Weston plays. I hope he comes back and he shows up, because I know some of the fan base is going to come back and throw out slurs and insults because he initially flubbed up a loan or a transfer that was going to bring over somebody to their team, but they ended up getting him anyways.
Sure.
But I mean, this is going to be a big hill to climb up, man. To regain stature at Juventus with fans and the manager in its own right. But
can you believe what Liverpool got Chiesa for?
How much did they get him for?
12 million.
Oh, geez.
What a discount price. Holy Christ. And then they sold off 3 other guys in the last 3 days too. So they're just selling people. It ain't their youngsters. These are 26, 24, 22-year-old players. It's crazy.
I like Weston. I know Chiesa didn't have a great season last season, of course, but he is so dynamic of a player.
He's still a good player.
And to go for about 13 million less than what Juve was probably asking for.
Don't quote me on that. That's just what I remember. It's somewhere around that range.
If that's the number, let's just say though,
because it was shocking.
Arguably, probably asking for anywhere between 20 and 25 million for Weston.
Oh yeah.
So it's beyond me.
Yep, it's crazy.
Whatever. Again, just to clarify this again. Hopefully, Weston does well at Juve. I love the fact that if this was his overall plan, he didn't want to leave Juve. He wanted a new deal with them. So maybe that's why he was sabotaging a lot of his deals. I hope he fights through everything there and comes out stronger for it.
It's going to be on him.
Yeah. And that's, just taking what John's saying here, he kind of makes it sound like that was the overall game plan.
No.
By saying I'm proud that his decision to stay at Juve.
It wasn't his decision.
I'm saying maybe, but that's why I added that ultimatum, but that other devil's advocate of saying, well, maybe his overall arching game plan was to continue to sabotage all these other options because he wanted a new deal with Juve.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think he would have gone.
Maybe Turin agrees with him.
I don't know. There's something not right because the new coach came out earlier and said, we're going to sell off all these players. Here's a long list of them we want to get rid of. And he was on it.
100%. 100%.
So that's not good. And they did manage to get rid of quite a few of the ones that were on that list.
Yeah.
But not him because there were no viable takers for the price being asked. So this idea that it's his decision to stay there is.
But that's the
silly.
point, though. Like there were a couple teams who were vying for him, and it turned out it was the agent / what Weston was requesting that spoiled it.
It was. He was asking too much. Yes.
Yes. So I don't know.
Seems self-sabotage to me.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
Well,
that's all I'm doing here. That's all I'm doing.
Wear the horns. All right.
Commentary, Derek. Come on.
All right. That's fine. All right. What do we got here? There have been multiple offers rejected for Matt Turner. The bottom line is that Nottingham Forest, I'm not going to read all this, want $9 million. What they want is to make up for the $9 million, right?
Loan his ass out.
So the loan won't do it. But then
no. Good.
But the loan's not going to cover what they really think they should be getting for him by selling him so they can make up a chunk of the money now, which is what they want. That's called greedy. Now, since they can't do that, they're just going to say, fuck it. And he might just end up riding, although he did make the bench this week in the cup game. He didn't even play in a cup game. But he was the second goalkeeper in a cup game. He was behind the third string keeper. So he's fourth string essentially. Maybe it was the second. I can't really tell after Sells.
Didn't Sells play in that game though?
No.
He didn't? No. Oh, I thought he did. Regardless, my take on this is if you want to build up and try to regain as much of that $9 million you paid from when you got from Arsenal, he's got to fucking play.
Loan him. Yes.
Cursing. Loan him. Let him go to a team that wants to play him at that point. And then when he comes back, maybe you can argue and say, hey, he did great at team Y here. Maybe I can get $6 million, which is getting closer. You're never going to recoup that $9 million. Never going to happen.
Yeah, go let him play at Mainz or whatever in Germany, some shitty team where he's going to have to make save after save and, maybe do something spectacular. But if you don't do that, you're never going to get that $9 million back. This is crazy talk from Nottingham Forest.
Absolutely insane.
Just loan them out, dudes.
It is.
It's $9 million. It's a drop in the bucket, for Christ's sake. Oh, here are the two morons spreading fucking diseased-minded thoughts. Okay?
I'm not sure where it's at, though. I know she's the one that starts talking about, but it seems to have stopped.
It's the first chick and the last chick in this video. So let me give you a background and context first. They're talking.
Do that. Let me do this. Okay, go ahead.
They are talking about Dortmund's sporting director. They are quoting what he said. And by the way, it's a translation. So there are 3 different translations I've seen in 3 different articles of the same comment by Dortmund's sporting director. In none of the translation does he talk about Gio Reyna's attitude. Not a single time. Not a single time has he talked about him having a bad attitude. Not at all. Or that he needs to fix his attitude. That's all shit that we make up here in this stupid fucking country because we don't fucking read any of the Dortmund newspapers or the Dortmund News or Bild or any of the people covering soccer in Germany.
Yeah.
Or we mistranslate it so horribly, we just make shit up. Well, start fucking actually reading it before you come out like a bunch of fucking idiots and say this kind of dumb shit because you're spreading bullshit. Is what you're doing.
Yeah. I don't know. It's this, Eric. It's this. They're reading between the lines and they're incorrectly reading it. Well, they may be reading it right. I don't know. But here's the thing. I would imagine between Dortmund, either past employees or players, or Forest players and coaching staff there in England, that somebody would have said, dude, this guy's got an attitude problem. This is why he's not playing. Maybe he needs to work on himself there.
And it's been the opposite. No one's ever said that at Dortmund, that he's had an attitude problem. Then when he went to Nottingham Forest, the coach even said he works really hard in practice. He's really good in practice. Matt Turner said this kid was kicking ass in practice. He was busting his ass.
Mm-hmm.
He did not have an attitude problem. Where's this attitude problem that we're talking about? This lazy fucking attitude problem player that these people keep insinuating exists that never existed. Except for at the World Cup. Sorry.
All the Forest podcast podcasters were talking about watching all the training clips and stuff that they were putting out, and they're saying like, hey, this kid's out there. He's busting his butt. He's got a smile on his face. Why is he not playing more? I don't understand it. Why is Nuno not playing him, et cetera, et cetera. Yep. And these are fans of the team who know that they have no purchasing option of this player. But they're sitting like, why aren't we giving this guy a shot? He has Champions League minutes for a team that's better than us.
Right.
And we're sitting here not playing him. Why is this a thing? And they know they're not going to get him in the end. But they also want to stave off relegation too. So, but nobody aside from GeoGate mentions anything about his attitude.
Right. Just Greg. Greg's the only one that's had an attitude issue with Reyna because they told Reyna when he showed up for the World Cup that he wasn't going to be a major contributor.
Yeah.
Right. So, of course, he's going to have a shitty attitude after that. He's like, well, what the fuck you mean I'm not going to have a major contribution?
Yeah.
You know, maybe that's not a good, very mature way to reply, but I get it. That is a problem. But he did that to a 19-year-old kid or 18 at that time. I think it was maybe 19. But still. So
this is not us coming up with excuses for his current predicament at Dortmund or him as a professional player.
No,
again, we talked about earlier. He's going to get his opportunities at Dortmund. He's got to make the most of it. He's got to step up and he's got to perform and bust his butt on the pitch.
Yep. There's no more excuses.
I deserve to be here, or I need to impress somebody out there that wants to purchase me later. So this is down to him 100%. We're just saying that nobody's ever mentioned anything about attitude, but we keep hearing this from the pundits. I don't understand it. So.
Especially dumbass American pundits. I'm sorry. And it's just got to stop. It's got to stop at some point. Quit making shit up. The guy at Dortmund, the sporting director, has never said, nor any of his coaches that he's ever had at Dortmund have ever said he's had an attitude problem. So let's just stop saying it.
Well, now that was the big thing for GeoGate. People are like, why do we keep talking about this? They're fine. It was character assassination in the end.
Yes.
Now there's that nugget that's ringing in everybody, all the American fans' heads.
Thanks, Greg.
Attitude. And whenever something happens, or if he's got resting emo face, he's out there. It's gonna. People are gonna like, oh, this guy's got an attitude problem. Yeah.
He doesn't work hard enough.
Come on.
Right. Yep.
This is not a thing, guys. Let's listen to what they have to say, though. We kind of just ran him down anyways. But
worked on himself, worked on his stability, worked on his charisma. I think that
Sebastian Kehl, the sporting director at Dortmund.
Yes.
Yo, he came in and rizzed us up.
But
that's important.
But I think that's a huge compliment in a way, because I think with a new manager, you have a clean slate. He's a young player.
She says all the right stuff here.
Well, and a new manager, yes, but the new manager knows Gio.
Yes, no, and they bring that up too, so that's good. So, and she brings that up, and she says everything right until the very end. Watch.
Attitude adjustment. He's
there it is.
That's
the attitude. I can't believe I paused it right at the perfect time there.
Attitude adjustment. Attitude adjustment? I mean, he's a grown. All they ask him to do is continue to mature, and they think that he's really worked on his charisma, which is not anything to do with your attitude. That's your ability to sort of show the world, hey,
look at me.
I'm a leader. I'm a leader here. That's not an attitude fucking problem. That's just him growing and maturing from being a teenager to a 21, a grown ass man who's about to get married. Anyhow, keep playing it because the other chick says it.
Hold up, let me go back to it. I didn't close it out.
Good.
Yeah.
Other chick now makes it worse.
That he has worked on himself, and he can just focus on channeling that energy into actually performing.
Wait. But working on yourself can be anything.
Yes.
It can be boning up on the defensive responsibilities that the previous coach complained about.
Yes. Have a more defensive mentality. That's not an attitude issue. That's about mentality.
It's no longer about me. It's about the team. Let's do about the team.
Think about the team more. I don't know if that's an attitude problem, but I think he's always thought about the team. I don't think he's a selfish player. He's always been willing to provide assists. And then I think the other thing is the leadership, taking more responsibility as a leader of the team. And that's what Kehl was saying mostly. He needs to step up and become a leader. And if he can do that, if he can show that kind of charisma on the field, if he can take his chances, he can earn his way onto this team.
We see great things if he can do X, Y, and Z. That's
right. And granted, it's all translation, from German. So that's already going to fuck with people who don't know anything about German. They're all confused about what words mean. And that's why I said there were 3 different translations of the same comment into English, and they were all different. So there you go. But none of them mentioned attitude. None of them. But go ahead. Finish this.
He was part of Ian Terzic's staff, correct? Like, wasn't he
an
assistant?
Was.
So I have to imagine. I mean, he's seen Gio Reyna.
He understands.
It's not like his attitude problems, if you will.
At least she added the air quotes.
Attitude problems, if you will. Yeah, at least she did. But it doesn't help, Brett.
No, it doesn't, because people hear that.
You're still pushing the narrative, whether you're throwing out air quotes or not.
This is different. This is the whole blackmail scenario all over again.
It is. And now all we're going to hear from turds on fucking X is about Reyna's fucking attitude problems.
No.
The turds. The turd
not in
sickles.
the background. Not in the background, though.
No. The turd sickles. I'll say that much. The turd sickles.
All right, did you want to hear any more of this?
Oh, no. She said it. That's good enough. That's all I wanted to say. And I fucking went on directly onto their page and commented directly to them, not passively through others. Yeah. Right. Because I wanted them to know, hey, come on now. This is getting ridiculous. Why are you pushing fucking bullshit narratives? Where in the quote from Kehl did he even mention his attitude? Not a single time. Do you guys do not know how to translate German? I don't know. Maybe they don't.
Derek, for a couple days now, actually prior to that, because you mentioned this in a tweet even days prior to that. you've been taking a bit of a beating as far as this astronomical price tag that's being
killing
applied.
killing the messenger, Brett. That's what I think it is.
And my argument all the time has been, guys, take these rumors, whether we give them to you or somebody else does, with a grain of salt. Sometimes they won't pan out, sometimes they will pan out, but understand that Derek knows how to be. He's been a journalist in the past.
Yes,
he knows how to vet. He knows how to vet a source. Yep. And there's one thing you can say about us as a whole, and especially Derek, because he has all the sources. I'm color commentary here, but there's one thing I can say about Derek in the sense that we don't quote unquote break news.
No, we do not.
We hold a lot of stuff back. We talk about it behind the scenes and with Pete and Tack, but we talk about it. We don't actually break it because we don't necessarily want to be connected to the view hoarders, like people who are doing it for clicks. We're not clickbaiters, especially Derek, because Derek's not monetized. What's the point of him doing it?
I know. I don't give a fuck about hits on X.
He doesn't get a dime for it.
I don't give two shits. I am literally reporting what I got out of a phone call as well as private messages from someone, I can't tell you who they are, who told me the following, which is right here. Believable sources saying Norwich. These are sources I talked to on the phone and in PMs. We couldn't pan it. He didn't want it written down in a PM, so we did a phone call. We talked about it. This is someone close to the Sargent camp. That's all I'm going to say. And he said, there are sources out there saying that Norwich rejected a $30 to $35 million euro offer for Josh Sargent, most likely from Bournemouth. Holy crap. Apparently, Norwich are asking for $43 million euros, somewhere between 40 and 43. Now that I've talked to other people, it's between 40 and 43 for Sargent. St. Louis offered, this has now been corrected as well, 20 to 25 mil, rejected as well, trusted source. So I got more details as I went on, but at that night, this was totally believable, and I was talking to the source and saying, this is unfathomable. This is crazy. He said, I think he used the word, it's astronomical. Yeah, that's an astronomical asking price. I can't remember, but I can tell you this. That same word just popped up in a new article. And yet I had people like Dom up my asshole. And then I had other people tell me 3 million's too low. So I can't win no matter what I say here. I got people telling me 30 million's too low. And other people telling me I'm fucking smoking dope. Well, it ain't me. I'm just reporting what this reliable, believable source is telling me. And, if you don't want to believe me, fuck it. I don't give a fuck. I don't fucking care. I don't care. You don't need to even criticize me because I don't give a shit. It isn't my opinion.
As you mentioned to another viewer, I don't care if you roll that up and shove it up your ass. And then you immediately came back like, no, don't literally shove it up your ass, but just know that it doesn't matter if you believe it or don't believe it. This is just what I've been hearing.
Yeah. And then we get these turdsicles like Dom, who you know.
I call him a turdsicle. I have no problem with Dom at all. In fact, I actually enjoy it whenever I hear him on a space because he goes off on rants just like you, Derek.
You have that relationship with Dom, but Dom doesn't know me from Jack apparently because this is not something I do on the regular. And then saying that's not real either when he has absolutely zero sources and no one giving him info. He wouldn't know a fucking jackboot from a penguin, and has the ball sack to come out and say that like I'm some fucking exaggerator. Fuck that, dude. I'm not. I'm just reporting what I'm being told. That's it. That's all. Simple as that. So Dom, you don't have to like me, and you don't have to believe. I've said this. No one has to believe a word I say. Now, if we were wrong all the time, which we aren't on the show, then people would fucking say our show sucks. But we aren't wrong all the time. In fact, we've broken plenty of things in the past, and they've all been right as far as I can remember. As far as I can remember, Brett. And we only break a story like once every 5 months, 4 months. That's it.
And I'll say the only times we've ever eaten crow has been on kind of opinionated topics.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think the Geo move to Norwich or to Forest will be good because X, Y, and Z. Well, it didn't pan out well as far as playing time, so yeah, I'll eat crow. Or, hey, Acosta is garbage, man. Oh my God, he's got to get off the pitch. And the very next game, he's like the best player on the pitch. We're like, well, geez, we'll eat crow there. Mind you, that's kind of a 50-50 hit or miss with Acosta. But, we still accepted the fact that we need crow on that because we called them garbage or whatever. They're not garbage, but the worst or whatever the pitch. Very, very few times do we ever claim something as fact and are wrong.
Can I give you another story where I was the lead voice recently and I was right again? Gio Reyna. All the press came out saying, he has no future in Dortmund. What did I put out the same day? I said, that's all fucking bullshit. I know that's not true. And I know it because you motherfuckers can't read German. And I don't think you've read all the reports. And I don't think you know all the things that have been said behind the scenes. So I don't know what you're talking about. You're full of shit. He's staying at Dortmund. They're going to try to rebuild his market value. That was, in fact, I think it's all in German, but I think you can actually go to the board meeting minutes. I think they have to do that publicly in Germany. I don't know. But anyhow, I've read them. Maybe it's not available to the public. I have no fucking clue, but I can tell you that's what the plan was. So if I got that right recently, and now I'm getting this right, which it's ending up being right. Josh Sargent isn't going anywhere because he's being marketed and priced out of any legitimate.
Derek, why would Norwich ever outprice any team?
Any offer?
Why would they possibly do that?
And it's not the first time any team has done this. They do it on purpose. They say, thanks for your $33 million offer, but we want 40 mil. And that's the rumor.
He's not worth 40 mil. Why would they request that?
Because they don't want him to leave.
Well, no, you lie, Dick. You lie.
I know. I'm such a liar.
The funny thing is we talked about this weeks ago.
Yep.
When the rumors were coming out and you had all the MLS teams saying, Cincy and St. Louis, like, hey, we are offering 25 mil. We're sitting there like, why are they offering 25 mil? And why isn't it news that he's already on his way to America at this point? Oh, that's because they're requesting a ridiculous sum that they're hoping nobody's going to offer.
Right.
And if they do, they're going to be like, well, I can't turn this down now, man. It's just got like 4 times his market value, They don't want him to go. They see him as their sole opportunity for promotion. And Norwich fans have been posting ad nauseum on our comment section saying that, like, dude, we don't want him to go. We don't want him to go.
Right. He's worth more to us than 40 million if we get promoted, is what they keep telling me. So, no, your price is not surprising. That's what Norwich fans tell me. And then we got people like Dom, who are living in a fucking dream world and don't know those kind of things can fucking happen. They do happen. And then we go back to earlier when I got the original rumor from the same source who told me that there was a really amazing offer made that was probably going to be accepted by Norwich. He got the second part wrong because Norwich turned that amazing offer down, which was somewhere between 30 and $33 million. Okay? That is astonishing to me. I was texting Pete and telling him that shocked me. But I'm telling you, Pete, they're not selling because no one's paying 40 million for. That's a lot of money. But then now you got the local papers starting to puke out these articles. They're using the same language my source used. Like, this is ridiculous, or this is crazy stuff, or this is astronomical. Yeah. So
so we have Pink UN. Pinkin.
Local Nor.
They only really cover Norwich City, so yeah.
I think it's a Norfolk paper, which, by the way, that's where Norwich City's located, in Norfolk. Josh Sargent ranked as championship's best striker by McLean, and not by just Josh Sargent's teammate, but also his coach. Okay. Yeah. And He has been
this is the new coach. Remember, because he had a previous coach last season.
Yes, who
this
got
new coach
fired.
This new coach has had a preseason with him, and he's already saying this. Why? Because maybe he watched last season and he saw, hey, here's a guy that missed half the season, but was like 6th in the scoreboard for top scorers for the league.
Yep. And if you read what McLean says about him in this article,
we'll pull it up here shortly.
Extremely flattering.
Yeah.
He has been the subject of strong interest in even a bid from MLS as well. So they're saying what we said. Okay, what I said and what my source said. Okay, it's true. As several Premier League clubs continue to keep tabs on his progress at Carroll Road. So, Premier League clubs. There is growing confidence that he will remain in Norfolk beyond Friday's deadline with the need for an astronomical bid. Did they just find that word somewhere?
They picked it out of the ether, Derek. They picked it out of the ether.
Because it's what the sources at Norwich are saying as well. Bid to even tempt City into opening talks on any sales at this late stage. Yeah, it would have to be astronomical. And to them, astronomical is 40 mil and more.
Well, you're not saying it's like, 14 mil with his market value. Maybe they go up to 18 mil. Hey, that's an extra 4 mil over his market. Shouldn't that be enough?
Norwich believes that he's the best striker in the championship. They are not selling him, and they're going to make it really hard for anybody to buy him. And then it goes on. I hope we are speaking about him every week, McLean says about City's number 9. He's by a distance the best striker in the league. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm not being biased. I think most teams would say that. In fact, who else has said it? Leeds has said it.
Leeds. Yep. Somebody who finished 3rd with 90 some odd points last season. Should have been promoted, but ended up losing in the finals, whatever. But you have them coming out saying, dude, we want to purchase him. But then again, they're not going to spend $40 million on him right now. So
there were 2 other teams that said the best striker in the league is Josh Sargent. I can't remember that, but Leeds stands out to me clearly. I'm not being biased. He says, I think most teams would say that. We're lucky to have him, and we need to keep using him to our advantage and keep feeding him more in front of goal. Yeah, of course. I'll let you read this one.
That is what he demands, and he puts the demands on everyone behind him because he knows he is a talisman for us. Basically saying, "Hey, feed me the ball, I'll score the goals." Is what he's
the man.
Them.
He's the man.
Give it to me. And that's what. Funny thing is, people call us like Sargent homers and stuff like that, and I jokingly say that too. But for the longest time, especially you, Derek, you were hard on him, saying like, "Dude, you need to be calling for it. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. You're a pussy right now. Grow some man marbles." And all of a sudden, he had a kid, and it started coming a little bit by little, and all of a sudden, the next season, he's asking for the ball. The next season, he's got 14 goals. The next season, he has 16 goals. So
talk about a growth in leadership.
Yeah,
like, that's taking responsibility. That's calling your teammates out and saying, hey, I was fucking open and you missed me. And you started seeing that from Josh all of a sudden. Yeah. Like you putting his hands out like this. I was right fucking here. Pass me the ball. And he didn't used to do that. So
but kicking it, I'm not chasing that ball, kick it to my feet. So he follows up with saying, so we need to create better opportunities, find a better pass, because he will continue to make the right runs at the right time. It's about finding him more, and there will be more success for us.
Do you have
this doesn't sound like a team that wants to sell him.
Hell no. You don't let McLean do this interview right now. Otherwise, you did have the quote that was also awesome, where he does talk about Josh's growth as a leader and that he's going to hold everyone behind him accountable. That's right in there somewhere too. He holds everyone behind him accountable. You wouldn't have heard that about Josh Sargent 2 years ago, 3 years ago. You would not have heard that about him. But he does hold his team accountable. Whoop. It's in there somewhere.
I can't find anything like that right now.
Well, if you go up, it also had the coach's quote, but somewhere in there.
The coach's quote's right here.
I hope we're speaking about him. Oh, okay. No, that's McLean.
Is that not the coach?
It's the player.
Oh, it's player, yeah. Was there a coach quote?
There was. There was in here, I thought somewhere. Maybe I don't know why it's not in there now. This is what he demands. and he puts demands on everyone behind him because he knows. Okay, so we did read that. We did read that part. My bad. Yep. So, yep. That's a different Josh Sargent. They didn't exist 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Did not exist. So it's a change, people. And listen, I'll say it again. You don't have to fucking believe anything I say, but don't come on and like come on to me and say I'm full of shit and that I'm looking for hits, because that's not what we do here. That's not what we do. That's not what we do on X for sure, because I don't care about hits.
I even yell at Derek every time he posts something like that and he gets 30, 40, 50,000 interactions. Like, dude, jump onto this red card profile and post that shit.
I know that's like 140.
Let's get those impressions over here.
It's like at 140K now.
I
So
know.
it's too late.
Seriously, man, it's unbelievable. You keep doing it, I'm like, dude, that's my first reaction to him every time. He's like, oh, I can't believe this. I can't believe this took up as much traction as it is. Like, dude, post it up this TSRC. Come on.
Well, listen, I got off the phone, right?
Yeah.
And I had all my notes from the talk and the numbers, and I thought it over, and I thought, this is absurd. That's my first thought, is that's a fucking shitload of money. And then, just like you said earlier, it kind of hit me. It's like, I don't think they want to get rid of Josh Sargent.
Nope.
Because this is an absurd asking price. Mm-hmm. And then I put it up there, and maybe I should have included in there, by the way, this is an absurd asking price. But it doesn't matter. Even when I said that later on in response to dickheads who were like, well, this is crazy. He's maybe worth like half of that. Yeah, I mean, his market, I even posted his market value. I said, Manuel Veit says he's worth 14 mil.
Yeah.
But not to Norwich, he's not. And certainly, obviously, not to some of the Premier League teams who have made what I would consider to be reasonable bids for a player who's the best striker, according to many, in the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so don't believe me. I listen, it's not going to ruin my day.
It is, Derek.
It's just like, come on, man. Don't treat me like some sucker. Listen, I mean, I thought it was ridiculous too.
Vindicated, Derek. You've been vindicated. That's all you just gotta accept it. Hey,
I know.
I've been vindicated, guys.
Shouldn't rub it in too much, but you know, the story.
You'll believe me. You will believe me from now on.
All I gotta say, it's really nice to have a Josh Sargent. Two Josh Sargent sources. That's really cool. So I think that's it.
That's all, folks.
That is all, folks.
It's been an hour.
Within an hour, we got the fluff was gone, so you just get an hour tonight, and we're getting done at a reasonable hour so we can get ready for tomorrow, because I got to be at work again tomorrow at 8, and I'm doing e-learning all day because we're doing this experiment, like what if something colossal happens like COVID again, and then we have to do e-learning again. So we're doing, all the kids are staying home, and I'm e-learning teaching all day tomorrow, which isn't too bad, I don't think.
I'll say Noblesville schools got rid of e-learning. They do professional development day now, where the kids don't have to do any learning. The teachers still go in and do all their whatever.
We got that every Friday from 3:30 to 4, or no,
Ooh, nice.
3 to 2:30 to 4. Like the kids leave early every Friday at 2:30, and we do PLCs. This is so hilarious that we do PLCs. Like I was with the Hope Foundation and with Solution Tree when we created the whole PLC with Rick DeFore, the whole professional learning community concept, and we're using that in my school. It's absolutely insane.
You're at fault, huh, Derek?
And I consulted schools on how to build PLCs for 15 years. It's just insane. And now I'm having to live with what I did to myself.
You're saying like, why?
We got to review our mission. Oh my God. Look, can I help? I can help. I did this for schools for years. Anyhow, it's funny, but it's great. And I love the principal because she knows my background and, you know, and
watches the show avidly. You know?
So she's putting me on this like council now where I advise her and some of the other teachers on, you know, how to improve sharing best practices. It's really kind of cool. It's really cool. So
Derek, how can we as a school have a school podcast? Derek's like, no, leave me out of this. Leave me out.
I am not saying a word about my podcast. So it ain't happening anytime soon. Although this show is pretty for the most part, pretty clean, right?
You dropped a couple F-bombs throughout it.
That's true.
I was pretty good.
But no more than I hear in the hallways every day in the school. So
I'm in the hallways. I read the emails. I know what. Come on.
See, I mean, so here's what happened. This is really funny. Like this is
be careful what you're saying.
No. This first week, okay. I had kids dropping F-bombs in the class, and I called out one kid in each class as the day went on. And I said, "That's one of the most unoriginal uses of the F word I've ever heard. You guys are treating the F word like it's not a special word anymore, and it bores me. And if you can't fix that, like if you can't bring something creative, don't use it in this class. Because I'm just going to call you out for it, and because it's boring. And man, nobody uses the F word in my class anymore.
You gotta bring up Ted Lasso, where the one teacher is like talk about all of her nicknames that all the kids are giving her and stuff like that. And she goes, and one creative little kid gave me the name Fuckwitch.
That's pretty original. Like I could live with that. And it's really funny how lots of the other teachers let their kids just say the F word all over their class. Because I had to do my first week, and
it's part of the vocabulary nowadays.
It's really crazy. That's why you got to demand creativity. Like I demand it. I'm like, listen, if you're going to use that word in my class, you better use it creatively. It better be something I've never heard or be something creative. Otherwise, I don't want to hear it because it's boring to me. And it's just like a misuse of the word. You're turning that word into a boring word. All of you are turning a great word into a boring word. That's what I did. And they're like shocked. I was like, so if you're going to use it here, use it creatively or don't use it at all. So anyhow, it's been great. It's been great. They all stopped. They're all afraid to say it now because they're like, I don't want to be called out for being uncreative, uncreative
they say like fuckoid or whatever. You're like, lame.
Yep. I know. It is. Like, I mean, there were other kids who are like
a blowhorn or whatever. Like, lame.
That was a poor use of the F word.
Boo.
Yeah. So it's amazing that when you challenge kids and you say, hey, if you're going to use it, you can use it here. I'm not saying you can't. You're going to use it anyhow.
But the final paper or whatever, final. That could be your final. Hey,
yeah.
Most creative F-bomb. Let's go.
I did have a chick today who said, Derek, I do have a creative curse word, but I'm not going to say it for the class. I'll just share it with you after class. And she came up with, I can't even remember.
You can't do that, Derek. That's illegal, by the way.
I can't even remember what she said. I'm like, that is original. I don't think I've ever heard of that before. It's like, but I don't think that's a word you want to use in school, is what I told her.
I've merged the D, the F, and the C in one word.
She used one of the C was included in the,
of course,
the word. Yes.
I mean, you don't want to publicly say it as loud. I mean, I don't know. I would say it now, but I don't want to get demonetized. And that, for whatever reason, that's worse than dropping an F-bomb.
I know. I don't get it. I really don't. The C word's the worst. And I told her, I said, don't say that one. It's good. I'll give you credit for being creative, but that's a little probably if the principal hears you say that, there'll be issues because she's doesn't like curse words.
Sure.
So anyway.
All right.
That's all fun. We're going to get out of here now. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma because it's important. Lean over, kiss your stepsister. We'll be back on Monday after a weekend of soccer to talk about it. We hope we clarify all the Josh Sargent business, and we'll keep you tuned in if we hear anything else. All right. Good night.